Greetings, Groaners. Welcome to episode 57 of the Groan Zone, the place for all things groany. Ever closer, we're moving towards 800, then we gun down our first 1,000 downloads. You want to help? Just keep it tuned into the Groan Zone as we hurtle towards 2024. We have the usual suspects this week, so let's have no more ado and get this show on the road. Oh, and before I forget, your games this week are the 5-point countdown and Give Me the Question. Taking us down the rabbit hole this week, it's me. But don't worry, Groaners, one of you will get your chance later on in the show. Groan 1. When someone wades into a conversation, not really knowing what people are talking about and getting the gist of the conversation wrong. Groan 2. When people don't control their dogs, and even though they're prone to biting, they let them run wild, completely irresponsible. Groan 3. When you follow a walkthrough intently on YouTube for a part of a game you are stuck on. However, the first step is easy, but right in the second step, even though you've matched what they're doing bit by bit, you end up failing each and every single time. Frustrating. Right. Whew. Got a bit angry there, but I've tried doing it over 50 times. What's that they say? That insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again? Now, I've taken my turn, but don't worry, Groaners, one of you gets your chance later on in the show. However, before we move on, I'll just remind you to send your oh unlucky stories, your feedback, your zero or hero of the week nominations, and of course your groans, using the following. Hit us up on Discord at the Groan Zone podcast channel, drop me into the Groan Zone Facebook group, shoot off an email to thegroanzonepod@gmail.com, and lastly, of course, you can find yours truly on Facebook Messenger under Mr. E. Groaner. For those still not finding me, it's Mr. with an E on the end. Moving on, let's go on further with Oh Unlucky! This week's Oh Unlucky goes out to the owner of this car. Firefighters in Strasbourg, France, were called out to a smoking car. They discovered a 50cm wide hole had been blown into the roof of the Renault Clio and a window had been broken. A meteorite was to blame and also had punched through the floor of the car and the fuel tank. Hopefully their insurance covers this kind of space damage. But now, let's see who feels lucky with the 5-point countdown. Clue number 5. I'm used in all aspects of life and many sports. That clue again. I'm used in all aspects of life and many sports. If you're playing along live, put your answers into the Discord channel. If you're not playing along live, here's where you pause, think of your answer, shout it out, unpause. You never know, you might have it right first time. Anyone answering? Or have I stumped people again? I think I've stumped people in the audience. Hey, we've gone down the channel of rocks again. When people don't know, they start putting up rocks. If anyone else puts up rocks, you're going to get minus points. Alright? Clue number 4. I have many different styles and types. That clue one more time. I have many different styles and types. If anyone's going to put up rocks, you will be ignored for putting rocks up. Serious answers only, please. It isn't rocks. Or spoons. Or anything else. It's not stoats. It's not weasels. Shoot your answers now, Groaners. Those pin along after the fact. Pause, answer, unpause. God, still no answers coming through. Okay. Clue number 3. I can be used for attacking as well as defense. That clue again. I can be used for attacking as well as defense. Still no answers coming through. Someone's putting rocks, but it's getting ignored. No more answers? Okay, looks like you might be getting less than 3 points this week, your owners. Clue number 2. I am made of many materials. That clue again. I am made of many materials. Yep, I've definitely stumped the room this week. Anyone listening long after the fact, if you've got it by now, fantastic, well played. Nope, no more answers coming in. Okay, clue number 1. As well as for protection, I can also warm you. Wait, one more time. As well as for protection, I can also warm you. Wow. Okay, those playing along live, none of them have got it right so far. No guesses have came in. Nothing. Okay, you'll find out the answer later and where you got the points later. But let's have some creepy now with Creepy Corner. The Man from the Past is this week's title. The old man sat alone in his antique shop watching the day go by. As always, a smile would never form on his face, but that did not mean he was sad. As he stood from his chair and turned his attention to a dark corner of the room, he nodded as he went to close up shop. It was the new tooth fairy, Valencia. He knew she was the right one, but he couldn't help but be displeased by her slow progress. Months on, and she still hasn't learned to fly or even shrink herself. This time, however, he had a job for her, a chance for her to learn the real power of teeth. There was a builder outside. He was ordered to clear all the buildings in the area within the next few months to build a park. The old man couldn't afford to leave the spot he was on though. He needed her to get him out of the way. The shop was built on the only spot where all ley lines have connected. Not to mention the giant hole under the shop that he couldn't have people find out about. Valencia was reluctant though. She had never made a puppet before and she wasn't even sure which type to make. She had enough of the man's teeth in the archives from his childhood, so it was possible, but she didn't understand why. If they got him out of the way, someone would replace him. There's always another way. We have time, she insisted. This shop was built with my bare hands all those years ago. Without this shop or that hole that you also work for, we can't get the souls we needed, he replied. She thought to herself for a moment and then decided to ask why he loved this old shop so much. That's when he sat down and for the first time ever told his story. It was about so long ago now that he couldn't even remember, but it was back when the world was split by continents. He lived a solemn life until he found love. They were everything to each other, but a war hit and he was forced to fight. He saw horrors, he came back with trauma, but seeing his love somehow fixed everything every time. He continued to fight and eventually they got married. More fighting. So many years of fighting, but he has a son as well now. He relished every moment he could with them until the ones who started the war forgot why they were doing it in the first place and the war just stopped. Everyone was ordered not to talk about it, which led to so much chaos. Then even nature had enough. Volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis all hit at once. People continued to fight against each other and his wife and son were caught in the chaos. The only reason he had to live was gone before he knew it. Holding on to each other right at the end, years passed and nature sought revenge. The continents came together just like they once did before, and after all those months of just wandering aimlessly, he collapsed to his knees. He was finally done. He had had enough and he couldn't keep going. He didn't care who would listen. He prayed for the first time in so long, to the sky, to anyone passing by, or even to the ground below. He didn't care. He just wanted a way to finally end the madness. A voice told him where to go and led him to the portal. All he had to do was give up a small part of himself and devote himself to this life for eternity. With nothing left to live for, he agreed. At least now he was able to make a real difference. Help those who are suffering and punish those who caused that suffering. He built an antique shop over the portal to keep watch over it and have all the items he would ever need. He didn't know what he would look like when he stopped aging. Apparently it was different for everyone, but he was fine with it. He was finally at peace after all. Even if he would never see his wife or son again, he was able to put an end to his suffering one way or another. That made it worth it, and every night when he fell asleep, he would get to see his loved ones again. That thought had kept him going all these years. Valencia wrapped her arms around the old man as she wept, and he too shed a tear, remembering the ones he never stopped loving. Valencia swore to find a way to save the shop, and walked out the shop. She didn't know how, but she knew the answer was in the forbidden vault, where only the truly evil teeth are kept. Nothing was going to stop her now. Wow. Nicole, you've done it again there. Turning up that maximum creepy factor, and I can't wait for more sequels to this story. But we've had our creepy time now. Let's play another game with Gimme the Question. All you need to do is pick the right question, okay, Groaners? There's no point blanking or anything. Just pick the right question, and then your points are assured. Round 1. Your answer is Doom. Your questions are: number 1. What film starred Wesley Snipes and Dolph Lundgren? Number 2. What game was made into a film? Number 3. What was the last name of one of He-Man's reoccurring villains? Playing along live, hit your answers now. Those playing along after, pause, answer, unpause. Okay. Oh, few people have gone in for number 1 there. Any others? Oh, someone's gone in for 2, and someone else has gone in for 3. Okay, any more? Nope, that's it. Okay, round number 2. Your answer is Georges St. Pierre. Your questions are: number 1. Who is a well-known French movie producer? Number 2. Who presents the Weather Channel in Paris? And number 3. Who has won multiple championships in the UFC? Again, pause, answer, unpause. Groaners live, answers now. Oh, everyone's gone in for number 3. Okay, any others? Someone's typing there. Oh, they've also gone in for C. Okay, last round. Your answer is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Your questions are: number 1. Who was the governor of Florida, USA? Number 2. Who starred in Terminator Salvation? And number 3. Who was the youngest winner of the Mr. Universe competition? Here's where you pause, answer, unpause. Okay. Ooh, got a mixed bag here. Some have gone in for 1, some have gone for 2, some have gone for 3. Okay, a nice spread across the board there. Anyone else typing? Nope. Okay. You'll get your answers later on. For now, we go from games back to groans with the audience groan. This week's comes in via Facebook Messenger from Jackson Hughes from Brisbon, Australia. And he groans: when my neighbour doesn't respect my property boundaries. The silly fool tried to build on my land, taking my fence down. I can't say his next word because it was a swear word, starts with an F, ends with a G, but his last insult was drongo. Typical Australian, but fantastic. Love that word. I had to laugh reading the groan. Nice one, Jackson, thank you so much. But forwards we go on to Zero of the Week. And this week's Zero of the Week is both shocking and disgusting. Parents were shocked to find screws and nails in a children's play park in West Hull. Now, who in the hell finds sick pleasure in risking injury to a child, I ask you? I don't think I need to say anymore, but whoever this was who thought it would be funny, you are so many vile words I can't say on this show, but you are justified as a total Zero of the Week though. Taking us out now, we'll move into the game answers. First off, it's the 5-point countdown. Anyone answered rocks? You're wrong. The answer was gloves. But give me the question. Round 1, your answer was Doom. The correct question was number 2. Which game was made into a film? Round 2, your answer was Georges St. Pierre. Your correct question was number 3. Who has won multiple championships in the UFC? And round 3, your answer was Arnold Schwarzenegger. The correct question was number 3. Who was the youngest winner of the Mr. Universe competition? I think some people playing along alive may have got points in Gimme the Question. And now, that brings us to the end of the show. This might be one of the quickest episodes I've ever done. Maybe. We'll see you next week for more from the Groan Zone. Bye bye.